move to California. Would you like that? Okay. It's a promise then.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hi, guys.
Thanks for stopping by Be Terrible Movies. Of course, I'm Jeremy, and I'm joined with the lovely Victoria.
Yes, that's me.
We just went and saw the movie Don't Breathe, and we're going to give you guys our spoiler-free thoughts on it. If you've already seen it, you want to get a little bit deeper into it, check down in the description for a link to our spoiler-filled review. So, basically, to give you a rundown, the movie takes place in Detroit.
Yes.
And there are 3 kids that are kind of from the wrong side of the train tracks, and they're kind of burglars. They make their extra money by robbing houses. One of them's kind of the key man because his father actually works for a security company.
Yeah.
Well, they hear rumors of this one war veteran who had this settlement for a ton of money in this house, so he's their next mark. And they're going to go in there, and before they do, they're kind of scouting him out, and they realize he's a blind man. So it's kind of a heist movie. It's kind of a home invasion movie. But Vicky, what were your thoughts on the film?
I thought overall it was pretty enjoyable. It had a lot of good jump scares in it.
It did.
It built tension. The story progressed pretty neatly. They were all pretty much bad people, so you weren't really rooting for anybody. But at the same time, I don't know, you wished for a certain outcome, I think.
Do you have a problem with movies where there aren't necessarily, like when you said you can't root for them, I think about Quentin Tarantino immediately, and how all of his characters, there's an ambiguity, they're not necessarily good or bad. And I think that there were elements to these characters, even though they weren't very well developed, there were little things you could hold on to, at least about a couple of them, that made them relatable, made you kind of want to see them get out, right?
Yeah, there was, especially probably 1 or 2 characters where kind of that humanity showed through, where you started feeling empathy for them and wanted them to be all right.
And I think that's a kind of cool thing that this movie did, is it kind of is able to make your sympathy shift throughout the film. You're not exactly sure who your sympathies lie with, because like you said, there's a complexity that none of them are just straightforward, like, good people. There was really only 4 cast members in the film, and going into this, I had very high anticipation because I'm a big fan of Stephen Lang. What did you think about the blind guy, the character in the movie?
He was creepy. I thought he was great. I guess I would call him a villain.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because I thought he was just scary. Just all his movements, he terrified me.
And he played the blindness element really well. Yeah. Obviously, this is his lair, this is his home. He knows certain sounds, he knows certain locations in relation to others, but at the end of the day, he's still a blind man, and he plays it really well, his physical mannerisms. He'll, like, use the walls to touch, to recognize where he is, and sound plays a huge factor in this movie, and in fact there's a very minimalist score. I don't know if there was any music in the movie.
I didn't really recall music, and there wasn't a lot of dialogue either.
And this really heightens the tension and that dramatic use of sound, because you mentioned it right after we got out of the movie. There's not a lot of dialogue in the movie. The script itself is probably relatively thin. And we'll get into spoilers, on our next video, but just for right now, to kind of summarize, if you are a fan of the horror genre, if you're looking for a treat, this is a movie that you will definitely enjoy. It's the end of the summer. A lot of the big blockbusters are over. This guy, Fede Alvarez, he directed Evil Dead, the remake, and it was a fantastic remake of a movie. I don't always like those. And so everybody was kind of waiting to see what he would do next, and I think that this is a step in the right direction, and this is a movie that is going to be revered among horror fans. On a scale of 1 to 5, I'm giving Don't Breathe a 3.5.
Ooh, that's a good score. Yeah. I don't think I can go that high. Like, there's been other horror movies we've seen this year that I liked a little bit more. From like It Follows to Lights Out. I think I enjoyed those more. So I think I would give it like a 2.75 or a 3. Like, it was good and enjoyable. but it's not like high on the list for me.
Is there a type of person who you would recommend it to versus a type of person that you wouldn't recommend it to?
I mean, I think a horror fan would like it. It was very violent at times. Not a lot of dialogue, but I mean, it was a good movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All
Not
right.
very story driven, I guess.
That's a good point. It's more of an exercise from a technical perspective. There's a lot of, like we've mentioned the word tension, suspense. There's a lot of atmosphere in the movie, but it does lean on some pretty thin story, you know, a basic story that we've all kind of seen before. So that's our review, guys and girls. Leave your thoughts in the comments section. Let's go ahead and start a conversation. We do this because we love to talk movies.
Yeah.
So go ahead and chime in. While I have you here, take a second, click that like button. Let me and Victoria, let me and Victoria know how much you enjoy these reviews. Maybe check out a reaction or another review while we have you here. But most importantly, until next time, be terrible. We're going to keep it spoiler free, guys, but if you do want to talk about it because you've already seen the movie, check down in the link for a description. Check down in the link for the description. Let's try this again.